Welcome to A Plus Health Life channel. We discuss the ways to fulfill your life with more quality and inform you on ways to get to your life goals with less effort. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. The importance of motivation for kids. Motivation to learn correlates with success at school. That's why many parents and teachers are concerned with helping students become more motivated in the classroom. This may mean using recognition and rewards to encourage behavior that's conducive to learning. However, extrinsic motivators alone don't always do the trick. Teachers who make lessons interesting to kids and help learners get excited about school can foster a lifelong love of learning and encourage students to overcome obstacles and find success. The two most discussed types of motivation are intrinsic and extrinsic. With intrinsic, motivation to learn comes from within. It could be that learners are curious, a lesson is fun, the topic is interesting and engaging, or the task provides them with an opportunity to demonstrate their strengths. When a child possesses this kind of motivation, he or she is more likely to be motivated when learning occurs outside of the school environment. Extrinsic motivation is when teachers or parents introduce an outside force to encourage kids to learn. This could be in the form of a reward, such as earning free time, a sticker, or a piece of candy. It may also be framed via negative consequences, such as when a student cannot go to recess and play with their friends unless they finish classwork first. While avoiding negative consequences can motivate students in the presence of their teacher, it doesn't inspire the kind of motivation kids need to continue learning outside of the classroom. It's also a lot more fun to do something because you love it versus to avoid punishment. Moreover, recent research on the over-justification effect has suggested that relying too much on extrinsic motivation can actually discourage kids who were previously intrinsically motivated. For example, students who played an educational game because they enjoyed it, started to equate play with the reward they received and were no longer interested in the game when the prize was taken away. Tips for motivating students. Make learning fun. Not every lesson is fun, but teachers can always find a way to put a cool spin on a task. For example, instead of doing a math problem on the board, bring in some props such as Legos or building blocks and add a tactile aspect to the learning. For literacy skills development, play hangman or host a mini spelling bee competition. Create posters that celebrate students' favorite books or have students spell out words by lying on the ground in different formations and taking pictures to put up around the classroom. Break tasks into steps. Once you get going, it's easier to keep up your momentum and stay motivated to finish a task. Create a class calendar and set mini challenges, milestones and steps on the path to achievement. This also helps learners focus on the future instead of just the here and now. Researchers have shown that a learner's conception of time can be crucial in helping them find the motivation to pursue long-term rewards versus instant gratification. Provide plenty of positive feedback. It's important to focus on the positives and recognize students for their successes versus what they need to work on. Constructive criticism is important. Just make sure it is balanced and learners receive more positive attention than negative. Recognizing kids for skills they are good at helps them build self-esteem and confidence and maintain motivation. Treat students as equals. Instead of wielding your power as an adult and telling a kid they must learn something because it's in the curriculum or will result in negative consequences if they don't, explain why it's important to learn and show them how they might be able to do something new or cool in the future if they are successful. Create opportunities for success. When students do well on a task, they are more motivated to keep up their success. Teachers can help make achievement more attainable by reducing the complexity of tasks, breaking them into smaller, more manageable steps, and giving learners plenty of time to complete each part at a pace that is right for them. Recognize learners. You might give out stickers, stars, or simply recognize students in front of the class for their success. Praise delivered before an audience of peers creates a memory of success, which can inspire motivation for years to come. Introduce role models. A great way to get students to be more intrinsically motivated is to introduce role models who inspire kids to work harder and achieve their dreams. It may be showing a documentary about a 14-year-old girl who mastered the science and math skills she needed to sail around the world, or holding a QA session with a parent who has an interesting career. If teachers draw a connection between school lessons now and success later on, they can make even the most mundane tasks more fun. Be positive. Kids pick up on the attitude of adults around them. When teachers are positive and excited about learning, their students will be motivated too. Have them write journal entries. Not only does keeping a personal journey encourage writing skills development, but it helps learners reflect on who they are, what they like and what they are good at. The more kids get to know themselves, the easier it is for them to become intrinsically motivated in tasks that relate to their strengths and interests. As a bonus, teachers can use the content of the entries to inspire class assignments on various topics. Pair physical activity with classroom study. Depending on your class, you may be able to provide rewards such as doing jumping jacks or cartwheels after a certain task has been completed. Bringing physical activity in to break up a lesson can help kids use up the extra energy that makes it hard for them to sit still and focus their attention. Know your facts. Think about what kids find interesting and dig up some facts to help them get excited about a particular topic. The same subject can be far more intriguing depending on how you present it. Tell them stories. An interesting story can grab your students' attention and engage learners straight away. It could be a personal anecdote, a history lesson, or even a made-up tale. Tell a story and get your class to ask questions before jumping into the content of a lesson, which will provide them with the answers. Curiosity is the intrinsic motivator kids need to discover more about the world around them. Students with learning difficulties. Often students who struggle with learning difficulties, particularly in cases where a diagnosis was made late in the game, have trouble finding motivation to complete assignments. Provide plenty of encouragement and positive feedback, and consider using technology and strategy instruction to assist the student in overcoming the challenges they face and achieving their full potential in the classroom. Motivation and English language learners. When it comes to students who are English as a second language learners, researchers tend to discuss motivation using the terms instrumental and integrative. Being instrumentally motivated to learn English is similar to having extrinsic motivation. It involves wanting to learn a language in order to gain something, such as to pass an exam or please parents by getting accepted into a good school. However, this is not the type of motivation that most correlates with success in language learning. Rather, having integrative motivation, or the desire to integrate with the people and culture that speak the language you are learning, is a better indicator of fluency and achievement down the line. Getting students to be excited about English language culture, in addition to literacy skills, grammar and spelling. It's also helpful to pair them up with native-speaking students to ensure they make English-speaking friends in the classroom. Motivation to learn versus self-efficacy. If motivation is about why you are learning, self-efficacy is the how that sums up your approach. Both are key factors in student achievement. Consider that some highly motivated students can still do poorly if they lack self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is the ability to take a greater task and break it into smaller, more manageable steps. It helps learners reduce frustration and work more effectively and efficiently, as well as benefiting young adults who are struggling with learning difficulties. That's because mastering a new skill can easily overwhelm a child. By changing the scope of their attention and reinforcing a one-step-at-a-time approach, teachers coach students on how to take control of their learning and progress through a task at a pace that is right for them. Plus, success begets success, and doing well helps students approach the next step with renewed energy and motivation to learn. The Touch Type Read and Spell program takes a self-directed approach to learning touch typing, a skill that helps students develop stronger writing, reading and spelling skills. The course is divided into independent modules which can be repeated as many times as necessary until the student feels comfortable with the material. Imagine hearing over and over again that you aren't doing something right, or that even when you try your hardest it's still not enough. What would that do to your confidence and self-esteem? And how would you find the ability to continue to push yourself to improve? Many kids who learn and think differently have negative experiences in school, and on a daily basis. A child who has trouble focusing might forget homework and get marked down for it day after day. Or, a child who struggles with math might get lots of wrong answers on a worksheet and choose not to turn it in out of fear. Bad experiences like these can be frustrating and make your child feel defeated or like they aren't good enough. So what helps kids who learn and think differently continue to push themselves to improve? What gets them pumped up enough to try something new? They are motivated and, even when faced with a new challenge, they stay motivated. The importance of motivation. Motivation is a drive. It's the forces that keeps kids going even when they face a difficult task. A child who trains long hours for a baseball tryout or stays up late to nail a science project has got motivation. Usually, there's a reward involved. The reward can be simple: making the baseball team or having teachers and peers praise the science project feels good. This feel-good boost makes the hard work your child went through seem worth it. Positive feedback or a good grade also revs motivation. A motivated child who feels rewarded by praise and a positive outcome is more likely to keep going again and again even when something feels tough. Motivation and kids who learn and think differently. What gives kids the drive to try new things? And what gets them to keep on trucking while working on an important project? Often, it's the simple idea of finding success or improving at something. The more kids feel good at a task, the more likely they are to enjoy it and want to do better. But kids who learn and think differently typically face more challenges and setbacks than their peers. And improvement may come more slowly or less frequently even when they work hard. This can take a toll on motivation. If a child studies for a test and still doesn't do well, they might be motivated to try again the next time. But, if the child keeps on doing poorly, again and again, they may start to think, why bother studying for the next test? It's not going to make any difference. Over time, they may expect a bad outcome with anything they try. Feeling defeated, they may want to give up or just avoid challenges altogether. Instead, if a child can find the motivation to try again, they will be more willing to stick with a difficult project or task over the long run. How to help your child find motivation. Kids who learn and think differently need motivation to try and try again. Without a history of perceived wins, your child might need more of a boost from you. Here's how you can help your child stay motivated. Support feelings of success. Feelings of success aren't limited to the end or completion of a project. With a little help from you at the start of a big task, your child can have positive moments and feelings of success along the way. Focus on effort, not outcomes. If your child does well on a test, don't just share your excitement over the grade. There are many more helpful ways to give praise. Ask about how they prepared for the test. Did they use flashcards or get extra help from the teacher? Perhaps more importantly, make sure you do the same if they don't do well on the test. Reflecting on how they prepped for the exam may uncover different ways of studying for next time. This can motivate your child to try out a new approach at the next go-around. Avoid a fixed mindset. Instead, foster a growth mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that if you're not naturally great at something, you'll never be great at it. Instead, focusing on the next time can help your child develop what's called a growth mindset. This is the belief that you get better with practice. That's much more motivating. If your child tries but doesn't succeed, avoid saying what's done is done and leaving it at that. Frame the discussion around the next steps to take. You want to help your child keep moving forward instead of feeling stuck. Get your child out of their comfort zone. When kids experience negative outcomes, they can lose the motivation to try new things. But taking risks and having new experiences can help kids to uncover new strengths and passions. That's why it's important to stress the upside of beginning projects or trying hobbies that are tricky at first. For example, your child starts piano lessons, but wants to avoid practicing as a result of bad past experiences. This is normal. All kids wobble a bit when they start learning a brand new skill. You can help your child by saying something like, "I know it's hard right now. But imagine how great it will feel when you can play that song you love so much." This reminds your child of the reward they're working toward. Recognize success. No matter how your child does at something, find at least one positive thing you can say. Examples include, "You were a great team player today," or "Your scales are getting better," or "It's great that you asked the teacher for help." It's not always easy to find motivation when things are hard to do, but the payoff can be huge. Discover ways to help your child if they sometimes feel defeated. And learn about how to give praise that can build self-esteem. What's the best way to motivate children? The intrinsic motivation to learn about the world around us begins in infancy. This type of motivation can either be encouraged or suppressed by the experiences adults provide for children. Psychological research points to a set of promising approaches that parents and practitioners can use to promote positive motivation and learning during development. Encourage children's playful exploration. When given the opportunity, children of all ages spontaneously engage in play. The ingredients of play are precisely the ones that fuel learning. Play is intrinsically motivating. It presents an opportunity for novel experiences and for learning from others. It requires active engagement, and it can strengthen social bonds and reduce stress. When life is busy or chaotic, it can be hard to find the time and space to encourage children's play, but this is an important aspect of development. In the digital age, there are many educational, computer-based applications designed for children, even as young as 6 months. However, even the best designed and most effective apps cannot replace real-life social interactions with adults and peers. In one study, babies learned elements of language more effectively when face-to-face with a teacher or on video. Recent research shows that young children can learn from digital media, such as touchscreen tablets, but social interaction during this learning experience appears to be essential. Please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.